Welcome back to another Minecraft update video. This is the third pre-release for Minecraft 1.20. And as we will see on the website, there is no new release date. This one is nothing but bug fixes. So we will breeze through the ones that I thought you'd want to know about, and also talk about the recent changes that have impacted speedrunning for 1.20 and future versions of Minecraft. First of all, there's been a change to how dispensers dispense boats. This might be quite subtle, so we're going to do the test first of all in pre-release 3. These are the positions that they're going to appear in the water. And now we will do this again in pre-release 2, where the boat sinks down with both variations of the dispenser placement. So the positional placement of the boat from the dispenser has changed, and this makes it a little more useful. At least if you want to hide your dispensers when putting boats onto the surface of the water. Now before we continue with this video, I do just want to say most of you watching these update videos are not subscribed, and obviously you keep coming back to learn about all the updates, so why not subscribe? Anyway, thanks for doing that if you did, and let's crack on. And now for a bug related to saddled mobs that's been in the game for quite some time, as you can see. Specifically, this affects the strider, the horse, and the pig. And this one actually fixes itself after you've relogged, but you may have not noticed it before. These are the jump boost, slow falling, and levitation effects. Of course, that last one doesn't actually have a potion type. And one of the ways to show this is with a horse, because we can, of course, control when it's going to jump. Let's go ahead and do that. Way up into the sky. Awesome. It's even better with the slow falling effect, let me tell you that. So not exactly news that these potion effects work on these mobs, but sometimes it's cool just to have a reminder of what's actually possible in this game, right? And the slow falling effect can help you safely transport mobs too. Which relates to this bug where riding an entity with that slow falling effect wouldn't actually stop full damage. It will now do that in 1.20. And there was another bug that could cause the levitation effect to work indefinitely on a horse, so it would just never stop going higher and higher up in the world. And of course this would require you to get a horse into the end dimension, because the way to get the levitation effect is with shulker bullets. Now this one will sound a little odd, but apparently it's been plaguing the game as far back as 1.14. It causes incorrect textures to display in the wrong places, which can lead to some rather jarring experiences when playing this game. So if you've experienced that yourself, hopefully it's all cleared up now. And next, a couple of things that I've missed in our recent snapshots. You are of course now able to decorate the area around your enchanting table with a little more flexibility to retain the high level enchantments. The change is that this no longer applies to the 2 tall flower. If we jump in now, you'll see that it's blocked the bookshelves. The other change was related to this tweet, which I am really late on. This was from quite a few snapshots back, and it was just an adjustment to allow you to put more text onto the new hanging signs than previously possible. You can now squeeze in a whole 2 extra characters. Pretty good. So, speedrunning and loot tables. I want to better explain what the changes here are that will affect 1.20 and future versions of Minecraft. You see, I had made an assumption about how this worked, so let's go over what causes loot to drop. It involves the world seed, a random sequence that is stored inside of the game, and I assumed it would also involve time spent in the world, and that those 3 elements would be calculated to give you your loot. And it turns out that time is not actually a part of this equation. So this means if you were to create a world with a seed that you knew, you could get predictable drops, because if you were to recreate the world again with the same seed and go after the same loot drops, they would drop the same. As an example of this, we're going to create a world with the seed 1, 2, 3. I will then kill a wither skeleton, and I will continue to do this until I get a wither skull. It took me 17 attempts to get this wither skull. So then we create another world with the same seed, 1, 2, 3, and we will repeat the same process. First of all, I will get absolutely nothing. Then I will get 2 bones, 2 bones again. Then we'll get 1 coal. The next kill will be the 17th. And there we go, we've got the wither skull. So this means if you have the seed of the world, then all of the loot that drops one after the other becomes predictable. So this is great for verification, but it also changes the dynamics of how you play speedrunning. If you just generate a random seed and you're playing blind, then it creates a great way to verify that the runs are legit. But some speedrunning is done with what's known as a set seed. This means the speedrunner knows the seed, they know the layout of the world, and that means they can achieve their speedrun much faster. The luck element is usually the loot tables in this scenario, but what's changed is that the knowledge of the seed will now come with the knowledge of the loot as well. Now, I don't think these are a thing anymore, but 10 years ago I made a seed spotlight video. I think it's the only one that I've ever done, and I just really liked the seed and wanted to share it with my audience. This used to be a big deal on YouTube, and I predict that it might just make a comeback because now seed spotlights can include loot tables. The reason I used wither skeletons in our example is because a seed could now come with the knowledge that your first 3 wither skeleton kills all drop a skull. So this change swings things in 2 directions. Set speedrunning will now be less about luck and more about knowledge of the seed. And as I pointed out, a cool seed is no longer just about the world itself, but what kind of loot you might get early on when playing. I also posted this poll on my channel, and although set speedrun scored really low here, you can see that a lot of people agreed that both types of speedrunning are important. And I haven't thought this idea over too much, but when creating a world, perhaps you could turn off this loot table sequence if you wanted to play a set speed but not know what the loot tables were going to drop. So if you're part of the speedrunning community, let me know what you think of these changes and if you've got some ideas that can keep this new system and yet not affect the old set speedrunning, as I think a compromise would be really good here. And that concludes our coverage of this pre-release. There were of course more bugs, but they're all small and minor things that have just broken in the recent pre-releases. So on that note, we end the video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon with another one. Bye bye!